Oh boy.
Pre-show hype.
Man, oh man.
Kyle, please, can I get it?
Hi, everybody.
There it is.
My only regret was not doing that this past weekend.
On any of the streams that we did?
Yeah, on any of the live shows that we did.
Yeah.
It's cool. I mean, it's whatever. I dropped the ball. It's whatever.
So gather in, everybody.
I'm drinking away my pain with a pineapple Mighty Swell.
We have a lot of housekeeping to take care of off the top of the show.
My favorite thing
this is the second time you've referenced that, and
I don't know any of it.
No, yeah, I'm nervous about it.
Kyle knows all three pieces of it, actually.
I don't know a single piece of it.
You don't, Joe, but Kyle knows all three pieces.
That's the way I prefer it.
Joe, have you smashed retweet on this yet?
Of course I have.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I'm
Happy
retweeting
Joe
it as
Marino
well.
is an ambassador of the stream.
Wow.
Chris, are you going to announce how Periscope went bye-byes?
So Periscope's not a thing anymore, and we use StreamYard to post this, out to the world. And I can't link the Twitter account because I'm not privy to these Twitter account things, unless you are, Kyle. Unless you have.
I'm not. No.
So we don't have this technology.
What about the Facebook page? What about the Facebook page?
You know what? I think I could put it to the Facebook page. I think I have that technology. I think I could just hit this button. No, don't have access to the Facebook page either. You hate to see it.
Well, we'll have to circle the wagons like the old Buffalo Bills. Nobody circles the wagons better, I've heard.
Yeah, I got a shirt. I got a shirt that says that from my good friend Kyle Krabs.
Yeah, you got a couple of dumb shirts.
True. This is very, very, very true. So if you guys are ready, we got lots of stuff to get into here. So we might as well just,
we got some good takes already.
We got to let everybody pile in. We can do our housekeeping things, and then we can get into some of these takes. All right.
What's better than this? Guys being dudes here on the Draft Dudes live stream, presented by our good friends Mighty Swell, the best friggin' spiked seltzer you will ever have. Chris Schubert has a Mighty Swell hat.
Let's go.
We are happy.
Let's go.
Okay, yeah, and so Chris has been telling us all about this housekeeping that has to be done, and I'm completely unaware of it, so we can all learn together whatever he has to share.
The mystery housekeeping is that I apparently know as well.
So housekeeping number one, Mighty Swell related gear. I finally got my hands on some Mighty Swell. Had some Mighty Swells when we were all together last week in Atlanta.
Favorite flavor, Chris?
Oh, the pineapple is really good.
Yeah.
It is very, very good.
Blood orange still.
I'll tell you, the pineapple is delicious.
The pineapple is fantastic. So that's housekeeping item number one. Housekeeping item number two is, I don't know if anybody who's here saw on my Twitter account, but I posted a picture of me holding up a big Panini card, and it was of Zach Wilson. It was of my quarterback. Well, my friend, co-host of the Draft Dudes podcast, Kyle Krabs, had a Jalen Waddle version of the Zach Wilson card. And Joe, you were not there.
Wait. Let me get it.
Okay. Can I tell the story of what you attempted to do?
Let me say what I know. Because Kyle, this is what I know about the situation is that Kyle said, I'm bringing that home with me.
Yeah, I smuggled this sumbitch home, I'll tell you.
So Joe, you left. Yes. And Kyle and Jamie put their scientist hats on, and they attempted to fold the card up in order to bring it back. And as Kyle was closing the suitcase, it sounded like a big crunch. So Kyle, can you? Yeah, it did. Okay.
Jalen Waddle was broken in half.
That's what I figured. That is what I figured. So Jalen Waddle did not necessarily make it back.
He didn't make it back in one piece, but he made it home, and we can rebuild him. I'm just gonna say we can.
First of all, Colin, thank you for saying this, but I think the two guys above me will attest. Listen, a little busy, just a little.
I promise you, nobody worked harder this week. Well, I'll say this: Chris worked a lot harder than Kyle and I.
Chris worked as hard as anybody,
right? As hard as anybody, and you were the producer, right? I mean, just. Here, Chris was in that friggin' thing in my ear all day, just navigating, telling us where to go. It was a job that I couldn't do.
So that's housekeeping item number 2 from last week. Housekeeping item number 3.
Is this the last one?
This is the last one, and then we'll get into some of the takes.
Okay, cool.
Joe brought a prop with him to Atlanta. Joe, Did that prop make it home with you?
No.
So the poop hat is what you are telling the listeners right now that the poop hat has been lost to all eternity.
I don't know about that. It's at John Brinkus's house.
Wait a minute. What if I told you that it left John Brinkus's house, Joe? What if I told you that it left the house?
Has it been relocated?
What if I told you that Kyle Krebs is
the thief? The thief. This is not great.
Oh
when
my
you started
God,
saying that,
this is funny.
I was hoping it was with Chris. Now Kyle has the poop hat. I guess I'm glad it's in good hands, but the best prop, the best thing I brought to the show has now been hijacked from me.
So
Well,
in
no,
fairness,
it hasn't been hijacked. You left it.
And Kyle and I had a sidebar, which we decided where would it be funnier, if I had it or Kyle had it.
We packed it up.
Oh no,
because you had already left,
yeah.
and it was at the house.
Well, I guess I'm glad that it still lives, right? It's not just like, I mean, I don't know if John would really enjoy having that, but
the show can go on with the poop hat. So
I cannot believe you've never just let the poop hat sit here and do the talking.
No, I mean,
you've owned the hat.
It's already been elevated. It's already in better hands, doing better things for the stream. I'm literally talking to a pile of shit.
That's yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot.
Oh no, this is not great. Okay, so Kyle, this is the thing that the listeners need to know is that Kyle will be more liberal with the use of the poop hat than I do. So I will present your bad takes. Present your bad takes with that understanding.
So that's it. That is all the housekeeping related items that I needed to get to from last week. We hope everybody enjoyed the draft coverage that we had later in the week, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Hope you guys enjoyed that. I'm seeing over on the right side, I have Twitter up, and Jamie has posted a screenshot of the show with just Kyle in the poop hat like he is currently.
Who are the decision makers and where the poop hat went? I need to know.
Me.
So yeah, Kyle and I found it, and I said, Kyle, oh no, Joe left this.
Yeah.
And then we, as a group, decided what would be funnier. If I had it on tonight's stream, or if Kyle had it, what would be a funnier kind of result? And
I'm surprised Kyle was able to keep this in for as long as he's had it.
You know, I almost broke it out on the podcast that we just got done recording for tomorrow. I was like, oh no, I dropped my pencil and went down and got it and came back up with it, but I didn't.
Well done. Well done.
I can keep a secret every once in a while.
This take from Sam. The Los Angeles Rams deserve an F just for finding a way to draft 3 wide receivers. Listen to tomorrow's Draft Dudes podcast.
Yes, we do the full NFC West tomorrow.
NFC West is tomorrow's division. So
all 3 picks for Seattle. So
this one from 5th and Goal. Amon-Ra St. Brown will be the steal of the draft.
Loved that pick. It was made by a team that needed a receiver but waited. And the name of that team is escaping me right now. What is it? I
don't know. I'm gonna have to pull up the our sheet.
Who friggin' picked them?
I have to look because you guys know I don't memorize draft classes.
I just remember
this is the worst part about doing
the Lions draft.
The Lions, right? The Lions. I loved everything about the Detroit Lions draft class, and they came into this draft with this glaring need at wide receiver. We thought they could be in play to get Chase or Waddle. They didn't make it to him. And they were patient. They picked some other players first, all picks that I liked. And they played the waiting game on the receiving, option. And they came away with Amon-Ra St. Brown, who is perfect, right? Good route runner, good ball skills, super competitive. He blocks, he does everything. And so I think he will be a foundational piece to this, next era of Lions football. Great job being patient and landing him.
So, Amon-Ra and Tylan Wallace were the only 2 wide receivers that we ranked in the top 100 that did not get their names called within the first 100 picks.
And I like where both of them ended up.
Yeah. Tylan Wallace in Baltimore.
Like I love that fit. Like that makes a ton of sense for what they're trying to do. So I like the way both of those played out. I had a take here and I kind of scrolled through.
Is it the one from Cian about TMI about his?
No, not that.
Okay,
I wasn't. Cool. No, I wasn't going to put that up there. This one from Sebastian. Cincinnati will regret not taking Penei Sewell.
I wish if this was your plan and taking Chase at 5, I wish you would have gotten different offensive linemen than the ones that you got. And I don't know, Joe, you can tell me if you disagree, but Jackson Carman in the top 50, Dante Smith from East Carolina, and then Trey Hill late on day 3. Those were the 3 offensive linemen that Cincy walked away from in lieu of Penei Sewell.
I think that's fine. I don't look at it and say, oh yeah, bona fide, sure thing starter, you've upgraded. But they have 3 workable options. I think Carmen does have starter ability on the interior. I think he's going to have to accept that. He thinks he's a left tackle. And Deontay Smith's a perfectly reasonable developmental tackle, and Trey Hill's a player that we both liked. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he was our left guard this year. So they come away with a player that is familiar with Joe Burrow, right? There's no curve here. There's no getting chemistry down. I mean, these guys were amazing in 2019. So you flatten that curve, you get your bona fide go-to weapon for your face of your franchise, and you still get 3 reasonable options for your offensive line. I don't really take much exception with it.
This take from Rahul.
Stop. Rahul.
No.
Let it go.
No way.
I didn't even get to read the take.
Rahul in the premium Slack has been screaming from the rooftops about Jamie Newman ever since we were in a Madden league last summer, and he ended up getting Jamie Newman as his quarterback. And ever since, he's been talking about Jamie Newman. He's going to do it. He's going to be this thing. And I think the league told you what they thought of Jamie Newman this past weekend, didn't they?
So he went to
Book
the Eagles,
got
right?
Picked over Jamie Newman.
He goes to the Eagles, right? That's
by 3 rounds.
Yeah.
Jamie Newman's on the Eagles. So a Jalen Hurts injury opens up the door for – they got Joe Flacco, right?
They do. They're wacky for Flacky. Yeah.
Yeah, I
don't like that phrase. I think that
so
you
need 2 very significant things to happen. And within these 2 things, there's a lot of things baked in. You need you need at least 1 rookie quarterback to sit all year in the first round. That's very unlikely. And then you need 2 Eagles quarterbacks to get injured.
Yeah. What am I thinking? What am I thinking?
Yeah, you have to use it, man. You have the tool. You've been given the power.
I'm not acclimated to having this kind of power at my disposal.
By the way, I can personally attest because Joe brought the poop hat, obviously, and I saw it for the first time. He's not lying when he says it's hard to turn the lights on. Like, it is a difficult
Kyle
process.
Didn't even try there. I don't blame him. Look at that Jalen Waddle helmet just hanging out in the background. Little power.
That's how I should have known Waddle was always going to be mine. Right.
You remember that you got it last year because of Tua, and you're like, oh, 17 was the only number.
And then it just
worked out exactly how it was supposed to. This take from Sammy. No team is better at finding weapons in the 3rd round than the Washington football team. Terry McLaurin, Antonio Gibson, Diami Brown, one of the best groups of young weapons in the league and minimal resources spent.
I certainly don't.
Where is it, Joe? Shake it for this
right
take.
Here. At least I still have the approval, Moraka. It's a good take, and I think it's well worth pointing out the success that they've had, and obviously Diami Brown, a player that we all enjoyed and think very highly of. So that's a good example of how a team can play the waiting game on weapons and come away with some really nice talent.
Chris, you're quick on the trigger there. I was taking the poop hat back off, and the take was already down.
Oh, would you like to take back up? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'd love to, so I could elaborate on it a little bit.
My apologies. Here you go.
Halfway through reading it. It's a nice start, right? We obviously need to see how Diami Brown transitions from the Phil Longo offense and into the Washington football team offense, but I think he's got the right kind of quarterback to give him a chance to have some success early on and make some splash plays, and Brown's got the ball skills to do it. So you got to be really excited if you're Washington to already have 2 hits in round 3 in your skill group, and now potentially a 3rd with Diami Brown.
Can I take?
No, I'm good now. Yeah.
Okay. I wanted to make sure that you were good. By the way, I think.
Can I make an observation real quick?
Sure.
I was just gonna say, for Periscope up and quitting on us in the middle of the night, the YouTube section is popping.
They're doing well today. YouTube is showing up big time today. I was thinking that. I'm glad that you brought it up. By the way, I think Washington, at least under the new regime with Ron Rivera, is taking an approach that you guys have talked about a bunch. Get the rest of the roster sorted out and then get the quarterback sorted out, right? Yeah. I mean, they get Chase
and you can
Young,
go all in.
And then they have all of these weapons on offense. They're spending money to kind of rebuild the roster, what they've done in the draft, and then they'll get the quarterback when the time is right. So they're certainly following a methodology and a philosophy that you guys talk a lot about when discussing quarterbacks. Let me find one here. that I thought was pretty interesting. I had to scroll to find the take that Kyle needed me to put back up, so I lost it here. Let me get back to
me
the
for it. Like I'm the goose here.
Let me get back to the bottom, and then we can discuss here. After the draft, the Carolina Panthers have the best collection of wide receivers in the National Football League.
Joe does not like it.
That's not true. That's just not true. You know what I mean? Like, I like DJ Moore a lot. I like Robbie Anderson a lot. But we're going to assume that because they drafted Terrace Marshall and Shi Smith, two completely unproven guys, to go with David Moore, that this is the best collection of wide receivers in the NFL. I mean, and I know this is going to sound super homery, but the Bills had 433 more receiving yards from their wide receivers than any team in the NFL last year. And Stephon Diggs is back. Cole Beasley's back. They added Emmanuel Sanders. Gabriel Davis is still here. Isaiah McKenzie's a nice little piece to the pie here. I mean, you're talking Jake Kumaro is like your sixth receiver. That's the best collection of receivers in the league.
I think there were other options we could have gone to that were just more top heavy, but still better as well.
Jay Scott, Colts had the worst draft with Darrisaw available. Taking pay is malpractice.
Really? Why does he think that way?
Yeah. Jay Scott, can you elaborate? Because I think Joe and I are both going to agree here and say that, we're perfectly fine and understanding that you did need a left tackle, right?
Yeah.
But Kwity Paye is we feel going to be a really good football player. So,
well, can we combine it with another take that just came in from Halil's Real Football Talk? 3 potential contenders had the worst draft: the Rams, the Saints, and the Colts. And I think the reason why people are criticizing the Colts is they went the whole draft without addressing what is clearly one of their biggest needs.
Well, I mean, they can still sign Charles Leno, who's available now. Alejandro Villanueva is available. Eric Fisher is available. I mean, it's because they didn't get a rookie to start at left tackle. That doesn't mean that they can't find an answer there. They have plenty of free agent dollars to spend. They could work a trade. So they're not struck out here.
It was Kwity Paye, Deo Odingbo, Kylan Granson, Sean Davis, Sam Ellinger, and Michael Strachan.
I don't love that haul. There's no question about it, but I'm not going to sit here and be completely down on the Colts because they didn't get a left tackle specifically in the draft. I think Frank Reich and Chris Ballard have earned the benefit of the doubt at this point.
So, am I surprised that they went with Deo at 54? Yes, absolutely.
Right. But that's that Danico Autry role that they lost, and it's an important one for that defense.
I guess the argument, and I understand why the argument exists, is you gave up the 3 as a part of the Carson Wentz deal, right?
Yeah.
And he's not going to play this year. So you have now effectively resided your draft class to 1 player. So I get why that skepticism is there. Do I think they had one of the worst drafts? No, because at the same time, I think you realistically had 2 swings at the bat to get top-level contributors, and you got one. And the other one might end up being a really good contributor, just not going to happen in year 1. So, no, I think there's other teams who had more assets at their disposal who I took bigger exception with than Indianapolis.
This take from Andrew Blake: both Aaron Rodgers and Julio Jones will be on new teams before the season starts.
Do you think that either are on new teams before the season starts? Because I think it's difficult to say, yeah, both. But is either one of these literally going to be playing for a different team?
Who do you think has the best chance?
Man, I would say Julio, but didn't Atlanta say a lot about what they think they can do this year when they chose to pick Kyle Pitts?
Certainly.
Like, they didn't say, hey, we are definitely rebuilding and we might have to take a step back to move forward. They committed themselves to Matt Ryan. They added Kyle Pitts. It doesn't feel like they've blown it up at all.
Can I offer a counter, Joe?
Sure.
What if they felt comfortable rolling with the team that they had this year, but if a team overwhelms them with an offer, they would feel just as comfortable adding capital for the 2022 draft, which we've learned in the lead up to this process. Everybody was coveting 2022 draft picks, and then they immediately have a replacement in terms of a receiving option with Kyle Pitts, and they can feel just as good about their future that way.
I think that would be smart because I don't look at Atlanta and think that they have any chance of being a contender in the NFC. If Atlanta makes the playoffs this year, I'd be quite surprised. Too many.
Everybody has a price.
Defense. Sure.
Right. Yeah. Everybody has a price, but I don't think anybody is going to pay what Atlanta's presumed price will be for Julio Jones to get a deal done. I'd be very surprised.
Also, how much urgency is there on Green Bay's side to move Aaron Rodgers?
None.
Right? There's none. Right?
Zero.
They like we can disagree with how they did it and what the prospect is, but this is kind of what they drafted Jordan Love for, right? The post-Rodgers era. So if Rodgers wants to play this game, they'll just play Jordan Love.
I think
I remember. Go ahead, Joe.
I was going to say I think they would prefer that it didn't come off an MVP season where he led the number one scoring offense in the NFL and took them to the NFC Championship game. You would have hoped there was some like obvious decline.
Right, but this isn't an ideal situation, but I'm just saying there's no urgency from them. Like they've already got the backup plan in their minds.
And that's the big divide for me between that and before things off the field obviously became apparent for Deshaun Watson is when everybody was asking, well, why would Houston trade Deshaun Watson? They just signed into a contract extension. Houston has Deshaun Watson under contract long-term. Their next decade was planning on being put into the Deshaun Watson basket, whereas Green Bay with Aaron Rodgers, Rodgers is at the end of his career. You've already established the contingency plan. So if I'm Green Bay, it's like, okay, now I'm in a place where I can call your bluff because my team has the backup plan in place or the contingency, the successor in place, in-house.
And it's a guy we picked, right? It's a guy we picked. We scouted him. We liked him. We chose him as the heir apparent.
Right.
But that's the difference.
At what point, if you're Green Bay, do you say, yeah, we'll take whatever 3 first-round picks to move on from Aaron Rodgers versus, no, we're not going to let him force our hand.
Somebody's given 3 for Aaron?
What team's doing it now? San Francisco took a quarterback.
I mean, Denver should. Denver should.
It's Denver or like
the Raiders. If you're the Raiders, you've been bumbling for the whole John Gruden start to his 2.0 run. And he wants to play for you?
Yeah. You give him Derek Carr back?
If
to make the money work?
Yeah, I guess.
I might, if I pick Jordan Love, and if I like Jordan Love, I might not even want Derek Carr. I'd say I want another pick. Let me pick a player.
This take from Colin. Gettleman will use the Giants' 2 first-round picks in 2022 to move up for a quarterback in the 2022 NFL draft. I don't know if he's going to. I don't know if he's going to have his job.
To that, right. If you need to pick a new quarterback, Gettleman's not going to be there. I don't think.
Man, I don't know if I agree with that. I think Gettleman can survive Daniel Jones not taking a step.
Okay, so how many wins do the Giants get if Daniel Jones does not take a step?
6 or 7.
Okay. Well, if it's 6, then it would be the 4th straight 11+ win loss season for the Giants under Dave Gettleman. How do you survive that?
I don't know, but the Giants are fiercely loyal, and I think we can all agree that the rest of the roster is pretty good. I mean,
I like a lot of what they have in place. I like a lot of what they had in place.
So he's got a playoff caliber roster, except for at the position where it matters the most.
And I would turn around and say, with the extra picks and assets at your disposal, if you don't trust Gettleman to get it right, which he didn't get it right around the last time, I wouldn't want him making the picks again at the quarterback position.
Okay. It was a crap. I mean, it's one of those situations where it's like that. Was it the 2019 class of quarterbacks?
Mm-hmm.
What was there? It wasn't the year to do it, right? Like you didn't have to
don't do it.
So that's the problem.
That's when you had good graces and stability and job security to do that.
So this is a lesson. Yeah, you got to bring back up what we talked about earlier in this live stream about Washington. Maybe that was yesterday. I have no idea when it was. About
no, it was today about getting everything else right. Yeah,
right. So
it was like 5 minutes ago.
Right. So get the rest of the roster correct, and you're setting yourself up for success instead of you're having Daniel Jones kind of like try to make it work with an incomplete roster, and now the stage is set for you to have the roster in place, but you're still having questions about the quarterback. I mean,
there will be no questions by the end of the year. When you spent what you got for Kenny Golladay, now unless everybody gets hurt, and then you draft Kadarius Toney in the first round, Saquon Barkley's coming back from injury. I don't know how you get out of year 3 and you still have questions about what Daniel Jones is or is not.
This take from the Beal. Take in 10 years, the best quarterbacks in the draft will be in this order: Lance, Wilson, Fields, Lawrence, Mond, Jones.
I disagree.
Define best. Championships, production, longevity, Pro Bowl, All-Pro accolades. I don't know.
Not sure.
I don't know. I could see San Francisco having the best team success.
Right. And then by a byproduct of that is Lance feels like he's the best of the group. Because it's going to do we think it takes longer for teams like New York, Chicago, and Jacksonville to find success right away? I mean, I feel like San Francisco's closer.
I think Chicago has a really good roster in a lot of spots.
So I think if we were doing it based on team success, I think you put Fields up to number 2.
Yes. And if Fields had gone to San Francisco, he'd be 1 on the list.
I would agree.
But, Lance at 1, Fields at 2, Wilson, Lawrence. Yeah, I think this is reasonable. I just think he's got 2 and 3 mixed up for me personally. Joe, you agree with that?
I have a hard time with that order because I think maybe the 2 of the 3 quarterbacks that I'm most concerned about in this year's crop were his first 2 in Lance and Wilson.
This is Braden. His take: Rondale Moore went to the best offense that he could have. I need the poo pad for this one.
Why?
I don't trust Cliff as a play caller to be creative enough to get Rondale Moore involved. He has struggled in every facet of calling the offense, especially when it comes to getting a number 2 wide receiver involved.
I think if they use him as like an outlet type receiver out of the backfield, bubbles, keep him in the vicinity of Kyler for dump downs, I think you'll have a good chance to be productive.
Let's get a few more.
Okay.
Is there
one in particular?
I've seen the Jared Dokes take.
The Jared Dokes one has been real, so we'll get it up there.
Put it
Jared
up.
Dokes will be the James Robinson
in here
of this class.
Joy, it was a scouting meeting, right?
I think so.
It was either a scouting meeting or a live stream, but we were talking about Jared Dokes, who we had a 5th round evaluation on, and this is something that was said in either the live stream or the scouting meeting. I don't remember which one it was, but Jared Dokes, not a lot of long speed, explosiveness. I know he ran 4.51 in his pro day. Physical runner, 230 pounds. He's got an opportunity, and especially when you consider he's going to an offense that Malcolm Brown and Myles Gaskin is the top 2 backs in it. So I could see a pathway for Jared Dokes behind an offensive line that has been overhauled once again and tinkered with, being a very productive player. Maybe not necessarily to the degree of which James Robinson ripped off, 1,100 yards rushing this past year. But, yeah, I could see him being this year's late drafted UDFA, going to outproduce a lot of backs that are in front of him if things break right.
For all their running backs Miami's been linked to, whether that's free agency or picking them high over the last couple of years, if they wind up getting a really solid 1-2 punch in Gaskin and Dokes with a couple of 7th round picks, that's my dream. That's my friggin' dream for a running back situation. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think it has a chance to be that. Gaskin was productive when he was healthy last year, and Dokes was my favorite day 3 back this year. He was the guy that, I came away really high on after studying his tape, and I think he's a really good stylistic fit for this team. He's a good pass blocker, and I know we didn't have a ton of receiving production for Cincinnati, but when he got chances to catch football, he looked pretty natural to me. So I like the makeup of that backfield. I wouldn't be nervous at all if I was a Dolphins fan.
All right, Vontel.
Can we get the one from Vontel?
I hear the complaints.
He's all hurt.
Your takes have been ignored. Lots of takes in here. YouTube's bringing it tonight, okay? I can't get to every single take, but you know what? You complain enough, I'm a man of the people. Mac Jones will be what everybody thought Josh Rosen was going to be.
I thought Josh Rosen had an exponentially better arm than what Mac Jones does.
Yeah, I agree with that. I would also say that based on what we know now about Rosen, Mac Jones from a football intelligence perspective is further ahead.
Is much further ahead. So I mean, if you were expecting Rosen to be a really highly valued pocket passer, I can't get all the way on board with that because I don't trust Jones's arm to have that amount of pop in it. I mean, I see physical limitations with Mac Jones's arm.
And do you think it's fair to say that New England is a great place for Mac Jones?
It's probably one of the best places
Right.
he could go.
So if it can work, I think he's in the right spot. And I mean, Rosen can't even stay on a friggin' team, man. He's 4 different teams said
Arizona, Miami, Arizona,
San Francisco.
Tampa.
San Francisco. Like, they just nobody wants anything to do with this guy.
We had a Josh Rosen conversation last week, didn't we? As a group, we were discussing where he was. We were talking about that
he came up.
And we were talking about how he's more than likely going to end up somehow being the backup there if they traded Jimmy G.
Mm-hmm.
That was the conversation. For San Fran, right? He would just get elevated. Let's take from Andrew. The Ravens drafting Bateman is an indication that these next 2 years are still prove-it years for Lamar to earn the second contract.
Last call. Next take is the last one.
Wow.
Get him in if you got him.
Guy goes for the last call. Okay.
Yo, this is fascinating.
Uh-huh.
I don't know if it's that these are prove-it years. I think we clearly need to surround what we perceive to be our franchise quarterback with more talent because we don't have enough talent on offense rather than it is, hey, Lamar, go prove it.
Do we honestly not think that we know what Lamar Jackson is in the NFL? Like, do you have doubts about that?
I'm pretty sure I know what he is. It's just a question of what his ceiling is.
Right. The floor has been established.
From a team success perspective.
I think the floor has been established, and if Baltimore likes what they have, then I don't think, based on what he's shown, they would have any hesitancy about continuing to roll with him.
They should like what the floor is, right? Like, he's been super productive.
Right.
They've won a lot of football games. It's just
got a playoff win this past year.
Right. So I think the floor for Lamar is comfortable, and it's something that they should feel good about. It's just unless you're one of like 5 quarterbacks to ever play the game, you still have to have the right pieces around you to make sure that the team success follows suit.
Dude, I forgot they had Sammy Watkins.
No one cares.
Wow.
You're Kyle Krabs.
In fairness,
he's not good.
In fairness,
2 football players
on
that
the
Kyle
TD
hates.
Fantasy podcast today, and Sammy Watkins was brought up, and we very quickly dismissed him. So
that's fine, but there's 2 football players out there that Kyle Krabs hates: Jermaine Pratt and Sammy Watkins.
Hate's a strong word.
Dislikes. It wants nothing to do with. We'll never say a good thing about.
Dismissive.
There you go. Fair enough.
Dismissive is probably
new vocabulary for the dudes.
Yeah, hashtag new vocabulary.
I know dismissive. That's not a...
No, that's why I said the dudes. I didn't say for you.
Oh, gotcha.
Chris tried to make it something it wasn't. Last take, Chris. What's it going to be?
This one from Halil's Real Football Talk. There are 3 UDFAs who will become starters for their respective teams. Javion Hawkins for the Falcons, Briley Moore for the Titans, and Ardarius Washington for the Ravens.
I don't know if I agree that any one of those would be a starter. Maybe Ardarius Washington. Washington would have the best chance.
Oh, no. The lights and everything.
Is that 3 poop hats for Kyle in his
a very
debut?
liberal use of the poop hat on its debut for Kyle.
I really like Cade Johnson to the Seahawks. I like Shakur Brown to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
David Moore.
Yeah, he went to Carolina, right? That's a good one. Trill Williams to the Saints. Yeah, these 2 of these 3 are not high on my pecking order for UDFA steals.
That's going to do it for us here on the stream. I hope you guys enjoyed. Comments were firing off. You guys brought the heat tonight on YouTube. We really appreciate all the listenership. We appreciate you guys following along for the 2021 NFL Draft. I am the Poop Hat with Joe Marino, Chris Schubert, the Draft Dudes podcast. We got a great podcast coming up tomorrow. We look forward to you guys checking it out. NFC West up next, going through each draft class. Lots to look forward to this week, next week on the show. Make sure you check it out. Thanks as always for tuning in.